this morning, 18 projects undertaken by state government inaugurated at Akwa Ibom University. Deputy clerk appointed for Senate House of Assembly. Akwa Ibom Governorship Election Tribunal holds inaugural sitting in Uyo. Details of these and other stories in just a moment. Good morning and welcome to KBC 45 News. I am Miriam Ikbutu. Governor Akpabio has inaugurated 18 projects at the Akwa Ibom State University undertaken by his administration. The governor was represented by the Deputy Governor Lady Valerie Bey. Colonel Edeme Freti reports that the inauguration of the project was witnessed by some members of the State Executive Council, management, staff and students of the institution.
Among the projects were 2 skill workshops for engineering students, marine laboratories, engineering complex for agricultural and chemical engineering, mathematics and statistics block. Governor Akpabio expressed joy that the university is growing to meet his dream, saying the state government was committed to equipping it to standard. He commended the task force on implementation of Akwa Ibom University accreditation projects headed by the Commissioner for Education, Professor Atmantai, for its commitment to the task set for them and judicious use of funds allotted, which he noted assisted in gaining accreditation of its programs. The governor tasked the university authorities to ensure proper use of the structures to give the institutions its proper place among universities in Nigeria.
Education is a thing that can project you at all times. No misfortune can suppress, no crime can destroy, and no enemy can alienate. At home is your companion, abroad an introduction, in solitude a solace, and in society an ornament.
Earlier, the Vice-Chancellor of the University, Professor Enoy Banga, had thanked the governor for his love for the university, saying his quick response to the needs of the university and prompt release of funds for the execution of the projects has gained the university its success stories. Professor Ibanga also commended the Professor Atmantai-led task force for projects executed, appealed to the governor to back the team up to get the school set for the National Universities Commission next visit, which is said comes up next month.
For my students who are here, fear not, because everything that you desire, all the knowledge you wish to build you up as a student of Akwa Ibom State University, the staff who are here present will impart.
Meanwhile, the governor has also inaugurated road projects undertaken by his administration in Oran local government area. The governor said his administration has fulfilled his promise to citizenry across the state. He commended the people for calling him in that regard.
A deputy clerk has been appointed for the State House of Assembly. He is Mr. Bernard Idong. Until his appointment, Mr. Tong was the Director of Planning, Research and Statistics in the House of Assembly. The Clerk of the House of Assembly, Mrs. Mandu Morin, announced this at the meeting with staff of the House of Assembly and the State House of Assembly Service Commission. She stated that the appointment, which has been confirmed by the Assembly Service Commission, will, among other things, make her job easier both in the Assembly chamber and her daily administrative routine.
Brand new deputy clerk in the person of Mr. Bernard Idong to appeal to our staff to exercise patience while these things are being worked out at the executive level.
Convener of the meeting and Chairman House of Assembly Service Commission, Obon Colonel Theodore, appealed to workers in the Assembly to continue to exercise patience while government meets their demands for improved welfare. He noted that already the 35% legislative staff allowance, outfit allowance, among others, were receiving due attention from appropriate quarters. Obon would have expressed the hope that the outcome of the meeting between executives of the state chapter of the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria and the head of the State Civil Service slated for yesterday comes up with positive solutions. The Commission Chairman urged the Assembly workers to happily take part in the transition program as lined up to usher in the new administration.
Much in terms of infrastructural development, and that involves money. I equally want to believe both civil servants that salaries due and up to date. So, what I want to say is that we've noticed the laxity on the part of all the staff, and of course their eagerness for improvement of welfare.
The State Chairman of the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria, Comrade Kufra Basiaderi, thanked the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Elder Samuel Ikon, the Deputy Speaker, Sodok Kirianapan, and the Chairman, House of Assembly Service Commission, Obon Colonel Theodore, for their efforts in ensuring that government gives listening ears to their demands. Comrade Aderi expressed happiness that the appointment of the deputy clerk, which was part of their demands, has been met. He appealed to his colleagues to remain calm pending the outcome of the meeting with the head of civil service. The Commissioner for Education, Professor Atmantai, has lauded Governor Godswill Akpabio for taking the state to higher heights through his uncommon transformation agenda. Professor Antai gave the kudos to the governor while fielding questions from newsmen on the achievements of the outgoing administration for the last 8 years. The Education Commissioner said for 8 years, the administration has given a first lift to all sectors of the state's economy, particularly the education subsector. Professor Antai noted that every Akwa Ibom child is respected because they have now acquired education, rather than served as house helps, describing the governor as an apostle of uncommon transformation. The Commissioner prayed God to protect the governor and as he takes a national assignment as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
And continue with the uncommon transformation drive of a great state which had been put on course by the indefatigable leadership and apostle of uncommon transformation, Chief Dr. Godswill Akpabio, CON.
The Commissioner also felicitated the Governor-elect, Mr. Dom Emmanuel, and his deputy, Moses Ekpo, for emerging victorious at the April elections and their imminent swearing-in billed for May 29. What the administration has put on ground within the past years, according to her, will enable the incoming administration to put the economy on the sound footing. Professor Antai, however, said a lot is expected from the incoming administration, but called on the next state chief executive to surpass the expectations of the people who voted him into power.
Incoming administration, which we pledge our full support.
The administration has been applauded for timely release of funds for the programs of infrastructure at the College of Education of Faransat. The Chairman Governing Council of the institution, Professor Lawrence Etom, made the recommendation at the 6th combined convocation of the college. Patience John has more.
Lawrence Etom explained that the timely release of funds to the college has guaranteed its development The council, he said, also worked to ensure that the school is affiliated to the University of Uyo, a move, he said, will elevate the status of the institution to degree awarding. The chairman of the governing council also requested for the review of the legal framework establishing the college to enable it to be at par with its counterparts.
Council has instituted a 5-year single-term tenure for the following 5 officers of the college: the provost, registrar, librarian, buzzer, and the director of works. This is in line with foreign and international best practice.
The Provost College of Education and Finance, Dr. Patrick Uko, acknowledged the contributions of management and staff of the institution to the harmony and progress experienced. He said as part of its training and retraining program, over 104 academic staff are pursuing their doctorate degrees in various disciplines. The school has also opened an entrepreneurial college where skills and manpower are enhanced. He paid glory to the first indigenous military administrator of the state, Utwekong Kanga, for establishing the college, which he noted has produced graduates who have contributed to the development of the state, especially in the education subsector.
I consider expedient to announce that the Department of Nigerian Languages in the college is working very hard to project the importance and the use of Nigerian languages. On a yearly basis, we celebrate the Mother Tongue Day with many activities emphasizing the importance of the mother tongue as prescribed by the United Nations. Furthermore, in response to the policy of the federal government on Nigerian languages, we stipulate that every Nigerian child must write one Nigerian language in the WAEC or NECO examination as a condition for certification.
The witnessed awards to the overall best students and others who performed outstandingly in their academics. Reporting.
We'll take a short break now. When we come back, more news. Do stay with us.
This is a public service announcement. The government of Akwa Ibom State wishes to bring to the notice of visitors and residents of the state steps to take in preventing the incidence or spread of the deadly Ebola virus disease in Akwa Ibom State. The Ebola virus can be contacted through any of the following ways: contact with the body fluids of those who are visibly sick from the disease, contact with the corpse of somebody who died from the disease, contact with an animal that is carrying the virus, especially fruit bats and monkeys. Symptoms of this deadly disease include sudden high fever, persistent headache, diarrhea, vomiting, general weakness, joint and muscle ache, sore throat, chest pain, internal and external bleeding. To prevent this disease, wash your hands regularly with soap and water. Keep your environment clean and properly fumigate your surroundings if you have pests around. Report any suspicious symptoms in yourself or anyone to the nearest health facility immediately you notice them. Medical personnel should use personal protective equipment when handling suspected cases and corpses. Be careful when handling dead bushmeat. Spread the message. Tell your neighbors, colleagues, domestic staff, family members and friends. Akwa Ibom is safer when everyone is educated about Ebola. For more information, call the helplines 0812-769-8984, 0812-769-8959, 0812-769-8949. Ebola kills fast. Spread this message faster. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Information and Communications, Akwa Ibom State.
So good to have you back. The chairman of the Akwa Ibom Governorship Election Tribunal, Justice Godi Aninu, has pledged to dispense justice with a high degree of responsibility. The chairman of the tribunal, Justice Godi Aninu, stated this at its inaugural sitting, which also had in attendance senior advocates of Nigeria, the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Barrister Wemedi Monwuko, the chairman of the Uyo branch of the Nigerian Bar Association, Mr. Mfonuyu, and other lawyers representing the interest of parties to petitions in the tribunal.
That is what what they are established to do. The parties will make their cases, and they would look at the law and look at the facts, apply the law to the facts in a just way.
My expectation in the first place is that justice will be done. And then the selfish expectation is that as a member of a political party and the interest of my governor-elect is involved, I definitely expect that we will win the matter.
The election was marked by fraud, manner of electoral practice. So if you ask me what we want the court to reverse that election, cancel it, and order fresh elections.
2 petitions have been filed at the tribunal. The first, filed on 30th April 2015, is by Mr. Umano Konumana, All Progressive Congress APC, against Udom Gabriel Emmanuel of the People's Democratic Party PDP. Independent National Electoral Commission INEC, the Resident Electoral Commissioner Akwa Ibom State, and the Nigeria Police Force as respondents. The second petition, filed on 1st May 2015 by Senator Ellen Udoka-Iswene and the Labour Party, has Udom Gabriel Emmanuel of the PDP and the Independent National Electoral Commission also as respondents. Meanwhile, the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Barrister Wemedi Mawoko, has assured the tribunal of a conducive environment for the speedy discharge of their duties and commended INEC for their swift response to the preliminary requirements of the tribunal.
Work on Sundays, and yesterday they worked till 8 p.m. If anybody is saying anything that is negative, considering their attitude, I think that person will be unfair to them.
The tribunal, which has Justice Raphael Ajua from Bayelsa State and Justice John Bayo Oluwasegun from Kogi State as members, is expected to deliver its judgments within 180 days from the date of filing of the petitions. Special marshals serving in Unit 4 of the Federal Road Safety Corps in the state have taken their road safety enlightenment campaigns to schools, led by the unit coordinator, Mr. Niobo Martin. The special marshals visited Ikonibom Comprehensive Secondary School, Ikoayani Kono, Uyo local government area. The story is presented in our studios.
The students were exposed to the basics of road safety, road signs, and what they stand for. Mr. Morton explained that it may be difficult for children under 12 and pregnant women to conveniently use seat belts, hence the need for them to use back seat of the car to avoid injuries that may result in death in cases of accident if they are seated in the front seat. The unit coordinator strongly advised drivers and passengers to use seat belts while driving for their own safety in case of road crash. He advised the students against unnecessary discussions or use of earphones while walking on the roadsides, as they may make themselves vulnerable to accidents.
We are here to preach to us because you can be a disciple, you can be an apostle of safety. We want you to take the message to your homes, to your friends on safety, because already you are safety conscious.
Also speaking, Dr. Ekanem advised children not to distract their parents while driving, noting that a second's distraction could result in a serious road crash.
You are here to be educated and to educate others. So we expect that whatever we say, the message we have given to you, please go and put across to others. Let others be enlightened, just as you've been enlightened. The safety is for all. If you mean safety, it means you are getting out of line, and nobody, God forbid. So we have to protect ourselves at all times, particularly on the road.
High points of the enlightenment was the inauguration of the Road Safety Club, as well as cadet marshals for the students.
Women of Eket, under the edges of Eket Women Group, have converged on the auditoriums of Christ for the World Mission Eket District to appreciate God for the victory of Mr. Udom Gabriel Emmanuel during his April general elections. The service afforded the women the opportunity to extol God for what they refer to as answer to prayers for the emergence of Mr. Udom Emmanuel as the next governor of the state. The leader of Eket Women Group, Obanwan Mando Abia, said it was necessary to give thanks to God for the peaceful elections in the state. Obanwan Abia said they were in the church to redeem their pledge to God for the victory of Mr. Emmanuel. She thanked Governor Godswill Akpabio and wife, Ekaitu Noma, and the people of the state for queuing behind Eket Senatorial District to produce the incoming governor. Obanwan Abia expressed optimism that Udom Emmanuel will consolidate on the achievements of the Akpabio administration as well as carry women along.
Because we all know that they are children of God, and that whatever they are going to do, they will do it with the conscience that they know God and they have to help.
On her part, Ms. Francis said the essence of the Thanksgiving was to honor God for answering their prayers.
We have a budget, and that budget is the key who is going to take over come 2020. Our statement that
in his exhortation, the Reverend Ferdinand Efeji of the Christ of the World Mission Eket District reminded the women to always remember that it is only God who is able to make their dreams come true. The Reverend Efeji commended them for returning thanks to God, noting that they have demonstrated the action of the biblical leper who returned to God for thanksgiving after cleansing.
Come in the evening, but there are those that started with you from the beginning. Don't ever forget them, and as you remember them, God will remember you in Jesus' name.
High points of the service, which featured praise, worship, and prayers for the group, was the donation of a generating set to the church by the mother of the group. The 47th Ordinary Session of Authority of Heads of State of ECOWAS held in Accra, Ghana, had President Goodluck Jonathan in attendance. The United States Secretary of State, Mr. John Kerry, is to lead American delegations to Nigeria's presidential inauguration on May 29. This and more in a national and foreign news segment with Mercy Eker.
President Goodluck Jonathan has attended the 47th Ordinary Session of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of States and Governments held in Accra, Ghana. The summit coincides with the 40th anniversary of ECOWAS. At the summit, issues of democratic consolidation, regional peace and stability, security in the region with special focus on Boko Haram, the Ebola epidemic, were deliberated upon by highlighting the successes, challenges, and proffering solutions for the way forward. At the summit, President of Ghana, Mr. John Mahama, commended President Goodluck Jonathan for his commitment towards peaceful elections in Nigeria and said President Jonathan's name will occupy a special place in Nigeria's history. The Inspector General of Police, Mr. Solomon Arase, has launched 259 specially designated safer highway patrol vehicles to work nationwide. The vehicles have been customized to specific states with special code numbers inscribed on each with facility to monitor their deployment. Also, a website through which members of the public can make instant complaints against the police has been launched. The IGP says Nigerians can now register observed violations by the police on the website www.stopthebribes.net, and that the complaints could be supported with pictures or other evidence. United States Secretary of State, Mr. John Kerry, has been named as the head of the American presidential delegation to the inauguration of General Muhammadu Buhari on May 29. Mr. John Kerry visited Nigeria in January to show United States consolidation to the country as it prepared for its general elections. A number of African and Western leaders are expected to attend the inauguration on May 29. The 68th session of the World Health Organization has opened in Geneva and will last till 26 May 2015. Officials from 194 member states are in attendance to give their annual review of the activities of the WHO and set new priorities for the future. The WHO Director General Margaret Chan said there was need to ensure that the international health regulations, which is the world's legal instruments for outbreak preparedness and response, are effective. Topics that will be covered during the 68th Assembly will include resolutions and decision points on antimicrobial resistance, Ebola, epilepsy, international health regulations, malaria, nutrition, polio, public health, innovation, among others. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization is to set up $100 million emergency contingency fund following the Ebola outbreak, financed by flexible voluntary contribution. In Afghanistan, 11 policemen have been sentenced to 1 year in prison for neglecting to protect a woman who was killed by a mob in the Kabul capital in March. The woman, Fakun Naderi, was beaten to death after being wrongfully accused of burning a copy of the Quran. 4 men had been sentenced to death over her murder. Meanwhile, a car bomb has exploded in the parking lot of Afghanistan's Ministry of Justice, killing at least 5 people and wounding several others. This is the 5th major attack in Kabul in just 2 weeks, and the 3rd targeting employees of the justice system.
You can also watch our news online by logging onto akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at akbc45 or Facebook at akbc channel 45. That's the package this morning, but just before we go, another look at the major stories. 18 projects undertaken by the state government have been inaugurated at the Akwa Ibom State University. The projects, which include laboratories, were inaugurated by the Deputy Governor on behalf of Governor Godswill Akpabio. Also, a Deputy Clerk has been appointed for the State House of Assembly. He is Mr. Bernard Itong, who was until the appointment the Director of Research and Planning in the House. That's the package this morning. We thank you so much for joining us. Have a pleasant day ahead. Good morning.